And those are honorable men. The ones that are walking the streets and protecting our country are fighting over there and giving their lives. And you're going to tell me that there's a code of ethics for pedophiles? Tell me the code of ethics for pedophiles.
Well, I can't, Steve, I can't speak for all pedophiles.
I want you to tell me your code of ethics then.
Okay, my personal thing is I wouldn't take this all the way to sex. I mean, number one, because the laws, because everyone's watching me.
You're damn right. And they better keep on.
My own personal thing or goal was just to consensually hug kids with their clothes on. I mean, no sexual, you know. That's all I ever did.
Why do you want to go and hug some strange kids? Why do you want to do that?
Because I just think they're beautiful. It just, you know, and I was only into girls. I'm not into.
Didn't anybody and say, "What the hell are you doing with my child"?
No.
Nobody ever did that.
Well, I didn't do it in front of the parent.
You waited for children that didn't have their parents around, and that's when you did it, right?
I just don't see anything wrong with it. Just an embrace or a hug.
You knew something was wrong because you waited when the parents weren't there.
I didn't want to make anyone nervous. You know.
What's wrong with you? You know it's wrong. You know there's somebody not protecting those children. Then you know it's wrong. You know inside you it's wrong. You don't want to make anybody nervous, right?
Yeah. I don't want to.
Did you ever take those children's feelings in consideration? Do you think that you make some strange guy comes up and starts hugging them? You think you might have made a 3-year-old to an 11-year-old? You think you might have made them nervous?
No, I mean, it was
just... No, you don't think that.
Well, no, I didn't. I mean, I don't want to scare kids.
You don't want to scare kids. So you'll go up to and hug when their parents aren't around. And you don't think that makes them nervous?
Well, they walked away happy. I mean, some of the... Well, that one picture...
You know what? You know what? After this show's over, you're going to go get help because you are sick. You are a sick individual. This is common sense. I tell my 4-year-old daughter, my 2-year-old boy, if a stranger comes up and you don't know them, they're not a neighbor, you run. You don't talk to them, you go. And I think everybody in there tells their children that. And it's, you know what? It's a guy like you. It's a guy like you that's why, even when my kids are in my yard or they're in the park next door, I keep an eye on them all the time because it's people like you that are out there that I'm afraid of.
Let me just... Steve, let me just say, no one has anything to fear from me. I mean, straight up. You know,
just that you might go up and hug their kids and scare them. And then you'll put up a website and give other pedophiles tips. That's the only fear you might give people.
I admit some of the stuff I did in reconsidering it with the pictures, and I don't do that anymore because I started to see the other side, what you were just saying. I mean, I started putting myself...
You only stop because your website's taken down.
Yeah. I voluntarily took all the photos off. I did that. I mean, the web host didn't. So
listen, first of all, I don't believe you. But you saying that, then you know that this is wrong. You've been saying all along, oh, I'm within my legal rights, this and that. You know it's wrong. Tell me deep down inside you, you don't know that this is wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know that all of it's wrong. I admit I made some mistakes. You know. And I'm listening to the criticism and all that.
It's not criticism. What you're doing is wrong. That's not criticize. You need to change yourself. You know what? Everybody has, sometimes in their life, they have some crazy thought go through their head. And you know what a normal person says? What the hell was I thinking? Get that right out of my head. But you're acting on it. You're taking pictures of innocent little children. You're putting them on your website. You're telling other sickos how to do it.
Not anymore. Not anymore with the photos. I want to keep emphasizing that because they think I'm...
But you still, tomorrow when you leave the stage and you see a 5 or 6-year-old little girl, are you going to go up to them and hug them if their parents aren't around? If you think they're attractive?
No, I wouldn't just... and I've never did that before. I never just started going right up to kids and grabbing kids and hugging them. I mean, it was... All I did, what I thought was just a completely consensual thing. I mean, there was a bit of bantering and...
Do you understand that kids cannot give consent? Do you understand that?
Well, you mean just for hugging? Or?
That's right. They can't give consent.
But it's legal, though, isn't it? I mean...
No. Let me tell you something. If you were in my park and I walked and saw you come up and hug my daughter, you'd be on your ass. You'd be on your ass. How are you going to feel someday when some child molester uses your information, your tips, to rape, molest, abduct a child? How is that going to make you feel?
I hope it never happens, but...
You hope it never happens?
No, when I had to sign up, I put when it was in Washington State, I had all the Washington State laws, and I saw it as more of a warning, just to enjoy children legally and don't cross that line. I mean, that's what I saw it as, but it's been interpreted as that I was encouraging people to, go all the way and just act nuts.
You think there's nothing wrong with it?
I got to be totally honest with you. No, I don't. Not just the hugging.
When something happens to one of these children because of the information that you put on your website, how are you going to feel? How are you going to feel?
If they can...
They used your information, disclaimer or not. They took your tips, and somebody's going to take one of your tips, and they're going to use it, and some child's going to get hurt. Well, how are you going to feel inside as a human being?
I'd feel bad, obviously.
I'd feel bad.
I mean, I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think it will, but You
don't think it will? Do you read the paper?
Sure.
I read the paper every day, and every day I read a horror story about some child being abducted, being raped, being molested. Every day. And here you are running a website helping these people.
Well, let me just say this. I don't approve of any of this stuff.
You know what? Someday all I can say is I hope you end up in prison and somebody makes you their sex toy. How do you feel about that point? How would you like it if somebody came up to you and did something you didn't like?
I feel bad. Obviously, I don't want to. I don't want someone raping me in prison, or if that's what you're suggesting.
You wouldn't want anybody to invade your personal space, to touch you if you didn't want to be touched. You wouldn't want that, right?
But if someone came up to me and said, "Can I give you a hug?" and I said, "Yeah," which is what I did with those.
Well, because how old are you?
45.
Okay, so you're a grown man. You're a grown man. You know. Well, I was just going to say you know right from wrong, but you don't. You don't know right from wrong. Children have to be protected from people like you.
Not me specifically, because I have no record, and I haven't.
You know what? Just because you don't have a record, just because you've never been arrested, does not make you are a. You know at some level it's wrong, and then you put up a website and you make it easy. You make it easy for the pedophiles. Instead of helping the police, you're helping the sickos.
Well, I want to help the police.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
No, I talk to the police quite frequently, and if I had any inside information on someone that was really hurting a child, I'd pass it on. I mean,
You put on your website